Yeah, pasa to the pack. It is Pack here. So this is going to be the end of year review of the most upgraded players of 2022. So which means we're using the fourth roster update of NBA 2K22 and their current roster up to date and seeing who are the most improved players of every single NBA team. I'm going to cover that in today's video. I'm going to go from the least improved of the worst team to the most improved of the best team. So if you like that kind of content when it comes to players, ratings, rosters, updates, and all that kind of stuff, please join the pack and subscribe. And let's get it, man. The first player is Paul George on the Los Angeles Clippers with only a +1 for the year. The Los Angeles Clippers have been very weird, mostly because of injury. The thing is, the Clippers have not been bad. Like in the last 2 years, they haven't been bad at all. But the injuries have stopped them from becoming a contender every single season. But Paul George has been the only person that has not gone down at all. In fact, he went up by +1. He is an amazing two-way player. We know he's a consistent 20-point per game scorer. And on top of that, I mean, just the defense is there. So the only guy that hasn't really gone down or stayed still is Paul George. That's it for the Clippers. Super weird one at number 29 is the Cavaliers with Evan Mobley +2. You would think that the Cavaliers have players going extremely up all over, especially because they've been one of the better teams in the NBA, but that's not the case. Darius Garland is the only player that's gone up, and so is Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley was the only one that went up +2. It's weird, but Evan Mobley's not the surprise. I mean, from a Rookie of the Year candidate to now being one of the better defenders in the NBA on a really good team, a +2 is perfect for him. He's been very impressive, and I would not be shocked if he's a lot better in the coming years. Up next is the Chicago Bulls with Nikola Vucevic +2. Now, you should not be shocked with the Chicago Bulls only having one player growing because most of the players on this team have been struggling, but Vooch has not been that person. He is, look, we knew he was already a pretty good player with the Orlando Magic. When he came to the Chicago Bulls, he was struggling a little bit, but then he starts picking it up again with the Chicago Bulls very lately. So it's looking like he's back to his old self, but it's a shame that the team can't help him, you know, because he's only a +2 and no one else really is growing. Up next is Jaden McDaniels on the Timberwolves, up for a +2 for the year. Now, you're going to notice something. Most of the guys down here on this list are usually on bad teams, and that's why they're struggling, and that's why they're the only ones getting any kind of upgrade is very small. That's not a good sign. But Jaden McDaniels has been good. I remember using him in NBA 2K22 on Play Now Online, and I was like, dude, this guy doesn't miss. Turns out it's like that in real life too. So good for him. Up next for the Phoenix Suns is Bridges +2. Now, Bridges has been doing pretty well. He was a Defensive Player of the Year candidate last season, doing it again this year, while also being a much better scorer this year. The Suns haven't had much upgrades by players. DeAndre Ayton has stayed the same. Chris Paul's been going down, and Devin Booker has either stayed the same or got a little bit better. Besides that, that's all that's really changed for the Suns. Bridges is the only guy that's gotten significantly better than last season. And I mean, that still makes the Suns a pretty good team. It's just that there's not a lot of guys growing besides him. For the Miami Heat, it is literally only Tyler Herro. Now, don't get me wrong, the Heat are looking a lot better since earlier in the year, but 2022 has been Tyler Herro's comeback year, which is funny because comeback years are a really weird thing to say. In 2021, he only averaged 15 points per game, and people were expecting a lot more from him. But in 2022, and even now, he's averaging 21 and even up to like 23 points per game for the entire year. He's been fantastic. He's an 84 overall. He got a +2 for the year and would not be surprised if it continues to grow throughout the next couple of years because he's still really young. An underrated player is Aaron Gordon +3 for the year. Aaron Gordon is a really interesting story this year. I really like it. So Aaron Gordon was battling injuries when he was with the Orlando Magic. He was known as the dunker. That's all he really was in the NBA. So, in the Orlando Magic, when he was averaging, 17, 16 points per game, mostly because of his efficiency under the basket, no one really expected anything when he went to the Denver Nuggets. He was really slowing down. In fact, in the season that he was traded, he was only averaging 12 points per game. And then last season, things started to change with Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. getting hurt. Someone needed to help, Nikola Jokic, and it was Aaron Gordon. Now, some people were like, these are just inflated stats because the team sucks. But for the most part, Aaron Gordon's not that good. Well, he shut everyone up this year. With a +3 for the year, Aaron Gordon has shown that he's borderline the second best player on the Denver Nuggets, which is really impressive, and would not be shocked if his rating went up even more throughout the year. He's been so good. For the Brooklyn Nets, it is Nicholas Claxton +3. Nicholas Claxton is kind of a straightforward story. It was a team that needed someone to get better to help Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, and technically Ben Simmons now. Nicholas Claxton with a +3 for the year. He was already a pretty athletic center. He was slim, but he was able to jump really high and get rebounds. And we're starting to see a more versatile version of him. He's still not necessarily amazing, but a 79 overall is really impressive for someone who's only 23 years old and getting better every year. No shocker here for the Dallas Mavericks. It's Luka Doncic +3. From a 93 to a 96. A 93 is a borderline superstar. A 96 is conversation for best in the NBA. That's a huge change for Luka Doncic. He's been leading this team that's needed him to lead them like really hard, and he's been doing a good job. But still, +3 for him, who's already pretty good, is impressive. For the Atlanta Hawks, only one player has gone up, and that is DeAndre Hunter. I was saying during the playoffs last year that DeAndre Hunter had a nice future coming. Like, you could tell he was going to be nice. And from a 76 to a 79, he's a borderline 80 overall. And he's the only one that has any kind of promise on this team besides Trae Young. And that's saying something because there's a lot of guys here. For the Bucks, kind of a shock to me. Jrue Holiday +3 for the year. From an 83 to an 86. Last season, Chris Middleton was the second best player on this team, non-debate. But this year, Jrue Holiday's defense and consistent scoring lately has changed that. He's needed to because of Chris Middleton's injury. He kind of had to step up as the second best player, and he's been showing out. I mean, he's amazing defender. He's a really good scorer now. I mean, what more can you ask from someone to help Giannis? It's an amazing player. Now we're getting to the pretty big upgrades for the year. With a +4, we have Kyle Kuzma on the Washington Wizards. Kyle Kuzma is interesting. I've talked about him for a little bit, but we knew he was a 19 point per game scorer on the Lakers just a couple seasons ago. I wouldn't say bad years, but less needed years from him because you had LeBron James and Anthony Davis. They didn't need him to be that guy in the Lakers anymore, but he believed he could be. When he went to Washington last season, he was averaging 17, and this season he's been averaging 20. He is showing that Kyle Kuzma, in his prime, which he is in now, can be one of the best players on the team. And this Wizards team, even though they have not been winning, that's because of injury. If everyone's healthy, this is supposed to be a much better team, and Kyle Kuzma has been very good with a +4. For the New Orleans Pelicans, a team that's been getting better every single day, you would think it's Zion or Brandon Ingram, but no, it's been Trey Murphy +4 from a 76 to the 80 overall club member. Trey Murphy in the preseason was turning some heads, and I didn't know if he'd do it in the actual NBA in the regular season, but here we are. He's surprising everybody. A +4 for him. You shouldn't be that surprised for this one. For the Lakers, +4, Lonnie Walker. Lonnie Walker on the San Antonio Spurs was a inconsistent scorer that was streaky and could not figure out his game. But with the Lakers, when everyone was healthy, he was the clear third option scoring-wise on this Laker team, averaging 20 points per game for most of the season so far. He's slowed down because the team has slowed down pretty hard, but Lonnie Walker has shown that he can be a very good player with a +4 for the year. He was very solid. For the Sacramento Kings, another team that you would expect certain players like Sabonis or De'Aaron Fox or even Malik Monk, but no, it is Herter. Kevin Herter goes +4 for the year, enter the 80 overall club. He does so much more now besides scoring that it's really shined on the Kings. They've needed people to score besides their main players, and he stepped up, and that's been a big reason he's in the 80 overall club now. And they've been pretty good. For the Charlotte Hornets, it is Nick Richards +4 for the year. Now, Nick Richards was not good at all last season, only averaging 3 points per game. Didn't really play much. Now he's getting a much more bigger role because the teams needed people to play more. So that's basically Nick Richards' story. He's become a role player now instead of a bench player. For the Raptors, it is absolutely Pascal Siakam +5 for the year. From an 84 to an 89, we were all waiting for Pascal to become that star in the NBA. We were waiting. Well, this year, even though the Rockets have been struggling a little bit, it has not been because of Pascal Siakam. A +5 for the year. He's been fantastic. For the Detroit Pistons, Keke Cunningham +5. I mean, when you're one of the best rookies in the NBA and going to your second season, a team that needs you to play a lot, no shocker that he's been very good. Keke Cunningham is going to be a star in this league as well. For the Thunder, it is SGA +5 from an 86 to an 91, and you could argue it should be even higher. SGA has been averaging 32 points per game for the entire season. It is video game numbers. He is looking scary. Imagine when this player gets help. He's going to be something else. For the Warriors, it is Jordan Poole +5. Jordan Poole goes from this guy that was only averaging 12 points per game. He was kind of like a whatever player. You know, a Warriors team that was injured, but now everyone's coming back with Steph Curry, Clay Wiggins, Draymond Green, and even other guys. You have your rookie James Wiseman, Kevon Looney, Kuminga. Like, you had all these players. No one expected anything from Jordan Poole. To come out here and kind of be the leading scorer whenever Curry was out, it's been impressive. Like, he's been so good. I'd argue his rating should go up even higher. A +5 for the year in a championship level team is so impressive from a young player. For the New York Knicks, it is Jalen Brunson. Back with the the Dallas Mavericks in 80 overall. He was good, but no one thought he was worth the contract he was getting with the New York Knicks. He shut everyone up pretty fast. He's legit. He's valid. He's so good. You know, going from a 16-point per game season to a 20-point per game season while being a solid defender, someone who hustles, efficient. It's insane. He's been an integral part for why the Knicks are a 500 team right now, and he continues to do well. The Spurs, although their regular season's been pretty bad, their future's looking pretty bright, with Devin Vassell getting a +6 for the year. He's a really good scorer. I thought this guy was just going to be a catch and shoot 3-point shooter with defense, but no, his game is versatile. He can score from anywhere. He can drive. It's a shock how good he's been so far, and it's only 22. +6 for him. If any of you have been watching these videos, no one's going to be surprised at Anthony Simons for the Blazers this year, for the +6 for the year. We've been begging for this man all the past year and a half to have upgrades. From a 78 to an 84, he's turned into the second best player on a Portland Trail Blazers team, averaging 20 for the year. He's been so good, it's impressive. No 76ers shocker. Tyrese Maxiell +6. Again, kind of similar to Anthony Simons, just showing up on a team that was already pretty good, to averaging the points that he's been averaging, playing the way he's been playing. He can score from anywhere. It's like really impressive. The Boston Celtics. It is Jayson Tatum +7. Let me tell you, man, all the players we've been talking about are younger players that have, you know, they're on the come up, you know, guys that got a little into. This is Jayson Tatum, a guy who was already an 88 overall. Someone who was already good goes +7 to a 95 overall. That's a huge upgrade for Jayson Tatum. This league is looking like it's going to be his. If he can make the NBA Finals again this year, he's so good, it's impressive. And then Jalen Brown, honorable mention with a +5 for the year. Lauri Markkanen +7. Easily the most surprising player of the year. No one in the world knew he was going to be this good. From an 78 to an 85, he is consistent, super consistent this year. A team that needed someone to be a star or they were going to be a lottery team, Lauri Markkanen showed up and he's been that dude. And no one thought he was going to be that dude. A surprise one for the Memphis Grizzlies, Santi Aldama +8. Santi Aldama, Spanish player. You know, I didn't even really know about him until this year. I watched him play against the Knicks on opening night, and I was like, yo, this guy's hitting everything. And he's like kind of like fast for how tall he is. 7 foot tall, moves kind of like a guard, can hit crazy shots. He's right at home in the NBA. He's really good, and I would not be shocked if he goes to the 80 overall club very soon. You shouldn't be shocked at this next one. Jalen Green +8. This dude has the greenest of lights in the NBA, a team that is not caring about winning this season, just wants victor. He is shooting every shot he can and making them because he's genuinely good. +8 for Jalen Green, and it's going to go up over time. Another shocker this year, Indiana Pacers guard Tyrese Haliburton +8. From an 81, which is a borderline all-star, to an 89, which is a borderline superstar. He is the best playmaker in the NBA right now while scoring at a really high rate. He's amazing. He's amazing right now. I mean, he's a borderline 90 overall player. What an amazing year for Tyrese Haliburton. And your most improved player of the year is Bol +9, from a 71 to an 80, which is a bench player to a borderline all-star. Bol doesn't play a lot of minutes, but in those minutes that he produces, bro. He's putting up crazy efficiency, good block numbers. He's scoring well, and he's only 23, getting his first chance in these last couple months. Imagine when you give him some time, he's going to be a problem if he really turns out to be as good as he looks. Those are the most improved players of the year. Which one is the most surprising to you? Leave it in the comments below. And if you like this channel, please give it a sub. I'll see you guys next time.